All right, so it's been about a month of this. It's been super made official, obviously verified by the UFC and by One Championship, and they've had recent press conferences. So, man, breaking it down from beginning to end, uh, what is going on? Okay, so Demetrious Johnson, a lot of you core fans know him as DJ. Demetrious Mighty Johnson, the former flyweight king, had been undisputed flyweight champion for the UFC since the division got started. He was part of the tournament, and he was able to get to the top of the brackets, and he was able to take out everybody and become the flyweight champion. It was the initial bout was against Joseph Benavidez. So it's testament to Joseph Benavidez's toughness. He's still a top flyweight in the UFC. Anyways, so they went at it. Obviously, GJ came out on top, 5 round decision. Later, he rematched Benavidez and he knocked him out. So he solidified that he's the better fighter. Yeah, Demetrious Johnson is one of the best pound for pound fighters, but he slipped up in his last fight. He had an injury, and he didn't perform to the best of his abilities in that fight. Everyone could tell. So in that fight, it went the distance, and he lost a decision in a split decision against Henry Cejudo. Henry was able to get some good takedowns at the end of the fight. He was able to get some good takedowns in the middle of it. So it just looked really competitive, and he was able to kind of hold him down. Probably had something to do with DJ's injury, but nothing taken away, nothing from Henry Cejudo. He did what he had to do. He went in there and he dominated as much as he could, and he got the W. So big ups to Henry Cejudo. Now he gets that super fight with TJ. Anyways, Demetrious Johnson is one of the best fighters, but he never liked the way the UFC was treating him. He didn't like the fact that he didn't get to call the shots. He didn't like the fact that he didn't get to say, I want to fight this guy, I want to fight there, this, that. A lot of the champions do get a lot of say, but that comes with the purse that they're able to bring in, whether it be Lightgate, whether it be pay per view numbers. And Demetrious Johnson wasn't the biggest casual fan friendly superstar. He was a superstar in his own right. All of us core fans know who he is, and we always knew of him, and we knew what he was doing when he had the win streak. He was able to do amazing things, last second submission over Horiguchi, last second, you know, dude, last second submission over Horiguchi, that shit was disgusting. Like, I still think about that to this day. And then that suplex armbar over Ray Borg, like, that shit was fucking intense, But he got traded to one championship, and they're one of the leading premier organizations in Asia. I feel like they're probably the biggest in China, for sure the biggest in China. In Asia, they're competing against Ryzen, stuff like that. But I feel like the way their production value, the way they're doing everything is just really solid. I feel they're getting a lot of help from UFC heads or former UFC heads. Obviously, they got Rich Franklin and people of such caliber over there. So I know they've been tightly knit into that structure. So they're doing a great job at one championship. I love the quality of the performances. I love the quality of the show. I love everything about it. The presentation is just super cool, and it kind of has like a pride feel with a twist to it, and I like that. If you gave me the opportunity to fight at one championship, I'd be there in a heartbeat. Anything, work, whatever, I'll do it. But who knows? Anyways, when it comes to this trade, they traded Ben Askren, and he was the middleweight champion for them, and Ben was still under contract. He had retired, but he was still under contract. So a way to get Ben into the UFC was to trade a former UFC fighter, and they turned Demetrious DJ Johnson into that former fighter, and so it's kind of like treating champ for champ. Obviously, DJ doesn't have the belt, but he has the name and the elite status, and that's what any organization wants. Like what Bellator does, they bring in a lot of the UFC vets, and they have their vets fight them, and hopefully they're hoping that the Bellator guys beat these former UFC vets, because in doing so, it solidifies that they've had talent in their pool all along. So I feel like that's what One Championship is doing. Sorry, it used to be called One FC. I feel like that's what One Championship is doing. They're going for the big trade, and they're looking for it to pay off. They want that name, and they want their fighters to be able to beat GJ. I know they're gonna probably put tension in there and shit like that. So looking forward to it. It's a good trade for DJ. It's a good trade for Ben, and the UFC needs fighters like Ben because we need to see if wrestling truly is the dominant aspect in the sport. We'll see. We'll see. I'm excited about this trade.